I mean, despite the smiles on your face, I know deep down it probably was not a result you expected against Cameroon, coming from a tournament or the last AFCON that South Africa got to the semi-finals, eventually did not get to the finals, but were able to finish third in Cote d'Ivoire. I mean, the team started brightly, no doubt. Even had early goal ruled out by, of course, for an offside. What really changed? I mean, where do you think the game slipped away from South Africa that ensured Cameroon dominated?
It's a combination of many things, if I can put it that way. Obviously, we had hoped for better results. We are a bunch of winners. We always want to win, and looking forward to the World Cup. Obviously, we want to clinch every other tournament that we'll play before that, because that will set a huge energy as well as good tone for us. So if you look at the game itself, you will see that at the first beginning of the game, or at the beginning of the game, the first few minutes, we really, could turn things around there, because from the Cameroon side, they made a lot of technical mistakes, if I can put it that way. But we were not there to answer to that, obviously. And I mean, I think they were very smart enough to realize their mistake and then turn the table right away without even having to wait for a half time. So when they came back, obviously with the lead, and they already knew what they wanted to do. So I think we lacked a lot of things. I'm not going to lie to you. And when everyone else, when we saw the starting lineup, we were like, we had a lot of questions about a lot of players not being there. And then obviously you'd hope that there will be substituted early, so and that did not happen. And when we started to come back, I guess it was a bit late. So it's a combination of things, like I said, a bit of timing, and that is, that was very deadly. So I guess that those are some of the mistakes that we are learning from, and that we will take away going back home and preparing for the biggest stage.
All right, let me come to my guest in the studio. I mean, Damiloju, on paper, I mean, with what we've seen in South African football, they qualified for the World Cup. They're able to peg Nigeria back during the qualifiers. A lot was expected from the South African side, but we saw a solid Cameroonian side. They were physical, they were quick, and they took their chances compared to South Africa, who got some chances in the first half, even to like Foster.
Yeah, I think that was the difference in the game yesterday, because South Africa had more of the ball. They were able to move the ball quicker. They had more possession. And especially even in the second half, you would say that South Africa slightly edged it when you talk about the chances. But conversion was the major issue for South Africa yesterday. I think after that goal was chalked off, I don't know what it did to the morale of the South Africans, but Cameroon were able to take the chances, the few chances that they were able to create. And unfortunately, in football, possession doesn't win you matches, passes don't win you matches, even chances created don't win you matches. It's the number of goals that you get to score. We know that Cameroon have a very, very interesting history with the AFCON. They got their chances yesterday. They were able to take it. I think South Africa can take solace from the fact that, on paper, I would say that based on yesterday, they were slightly the better side. Unfortunately, they will go ruin those chances that they failed to convert.
All right, Mkhize, let's look at the tactics of the coach. I mean, after going 2 goals down, they pushed hard. They got one back through Makgopa, who came in around the 62nd minute. Some have said TBC probably was not supposed to start. He was found wanting in one of the goals they conceded. I think the second goal scored by Cameroon, TBC probably should have defended well in the box. He's not had the very best of run for Orlando Pirates. And the changes he made brought life into the team. Where do you think the coaching decisions or tactical approach might have contributed to South Africa's loss?
Obviously, it will be a very unfair situation or statement to single out one player in this instance, because it takes a teamwork, and obviously a coach will have the trust in a team. So obviously, when we look at the second half, when the substitutes happen, when you look at the effort that Makgopa puts in, and when you look at the work that Mbule put in, you can tell that the mindset had already shifted by then. They were really fighting to go forward and convert as many chances that they could, or even create those chances to begin with. So obviously, there's a lot of opinions out there. Some they feel that maybe he should have played Reyners instead of other players. But then again, I'm still saying this is not a one-man show, so you can't really single out a player. 1, 2, there's a lot of preparations before the 90 minutes of the game that take place. So obviously there is a solid reason as to why maybe the coach did the way he did, or he substituted the player that he substituted instead of the player that maybe pleases the large or the public. So, like I'm saying, it was one of those unfortunate situations to be in, because, like your co-host has said, we were a little bit of a better fight, to put it that way, on paper. But we did not have the enough, the hunger was not enough. The drive was not enough. Everything was just an inch away from nailing it, from finishing it. So we could have been, a little bit clinical. We could have, done a lot of work to put it that way. So it was just one of those almost moments, if I can put it that way.
All right, I'll still stick with you, Nondumiso. For Coach Hugo Broos, he was the coach of Cameroon when they last won the AFCON, I think in 2017. And then he's the coach of South Africa, losing to his former side. Is he still the right man for the job going to the World Cup? I mean, should we, do we say, South Africa, Coach Hugo Broos, thank you so much, let's get another manager. Is he still the right coach that can take South Africa to the 2026 World Cup?
Without a doubt, we still have so much faith in our coach, and we believe that they are definitely going to come back and sit down and go back to the drawing board, try and make up for all the mistakes that have happened, and try and look forward. And that's without a doubt. I believe everyone else still believes in him. And like I said, there's always a number of reasons, or a couple of reasons as to why the selection will be the way it was. Even though we, as a public, would have wished for or preferred for him to play a different formation than he played, but obviously there is a reason as to why that happened. It could be a number of things, like I'm saying. It's not like I'm trying to do a runaround, but I'm trying to consider the fact that the Cameroon side that he played yesterday or last night is a little bit different than the Cameroon side that he coached. Obviously, he will know the background. He will know the basics of the team, and maybe taking that into consideration was actually one of maybe the reasons or the inspiration behind the formation that he played last night. I'm not too sure, but I think so.
All right, Nondumiso, we'll keep you a bit because we have a Cameroonian guest joining us right now. So he won a balance already for this game. Emmanuel Beng joins us from Yaoundé, Cameroon. Emmanuel Beng, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining.
Hello, and thanks for having me.
Emmanuel Beng, I expect you to be smiling. I mean, your team is in the quarterfinals of this competition. But of course, tell us, what do you think Cameroon did better that ensured that they get past South Africa?
Yeah, that's really an interesting question. I think there's something that most people haven't realized yet is about yesterday's game. It was really huge on our part because of the circumstances leading to our participation at the African Cup of Nations. Remember the chaos, the bad blood between some players and the coaching staff, also including a team that was set up 20 days to the AFCON with a coach that came in barely 19 days to the competition, and coming in to pull such results was really massive. Most of these players taking part in the competition for the first time. Most of them are actually featuring for the national team as well for the first time. So I think it was a very brilliant result. In general, I think that what we did was having the mindset being collective, because we don't have the individual stars like we did in previous competitions, but the mindset of maybe getting something and also heading into the competition as underdogs gave us, and I think, an upper hand over a South African team that's played together for quite a long time, but also with a coaching staff that comes in really unknown, no particular play style, no players that you could look up to, but they're able to bond together, to actually gel together, and getting such results yesterday, it meant a lot for the Cameroon people.
All right, our South African guests did point out areas where, they did not take, their chances. For instance, they had a couple of chances, they did not take that. Also, the aspect of maybe formations that South African coach probably should have used. But let me ask you this question. You've talked about the young players of the squad. You've talked about the coach joining 19 days from now, before now, to take that aside. Can we say that Samuel Eto'o took the right decision to have stood by this coach as against McBride, who was imposed by the Sports Ministry of Cameroon?
Yeah, I mean, Eto'o's decisions right now are actually paying dividends. I think that it was a right call for it to have back the unity within the team, because before such appointments, the appointments were made in regards to the coaching staff and the decisions as well from the coach to select certain players. That also comes as well with some influence from the federation. A lot of people said most of these calls were made based on allegiance and not due to performance. I think Eto'o took a really big chance on David Pagu. At the beginning, I did not quite accept the decision from the head coach. I actually campaigned for a new head coach at the helm of the national team, but with his decisions to select certain players and keep certain star players, that could have, helped us to get more decent results at the AFCON. But Eto'o back at home, he's heralded as a football icon, and before the AFCON, most people actually were at loggerheads with his decision. But this particular decision to bring in a new head coach, and with the kind of players that are in the team right now, a lot of people are calling him the new superhero in the country, and they look forward to seeing what the team can do in the next games.
All right, before I let you guys go, Nondumiso, this question is to you. South Africa out, which team do you think will go all the way to the finals?
All the way to the finals will be far too fetched for me to say, but obviously I think it will be a good game between Morocco and Cameroon, and I think Morocco will take advantage.
Nondumiso, did Nigeria offend you? Were you offended by Nigeria? Nigeria is not even your option.
Not necessarily.
Wow. Wow. All right, Emmanuel, also don't forget that Nigeria did play Cameroon at the AFCON, last AFCON in the knockout stage before going to play South Africa. Do you also think that Nigeria may not make it to the final, or it will be Cameroon all the way?
Well, I think Nigeria do have a chance to get to the final. But I think that with the Cameroonian squad right now, we're on fire, because one thing about Morocco is they know that as a host nation, facing us is really difficult. The last time they hosted a competition, we actually beat them in the semi-finals and went out to win the title. But they are actually scared of us. But I think that Cameroon and Nigeria could possibly face each other in the final if it gets to the level. All right. I see Nigeria actually going through.
All right, Nondumiso, you want to say something?
I thought you were asking me to mention just one national team that I think will make it. So obviously, with that option, I went straight for Morocco, obviously, and not to cancel Nigeria altogether, because you guys are the strongest side. And if you're going to look at in a sense of West playing North and or South playing East, obviously we know that West is one of the strongest sides. As well as North is the strongest side. So obviously it will be a good competition, and I also think I see it. I see them play. Yeah. But let's not forget DRC. DRC is also, they gave us a nice run, and we enjoyed the game. So there's a lot of interesting teams or national teams, even the ones that have exited. So yeah, big up to Bafana as well.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. All right, gentlemen and gentlemen. All right, for joining Nondumiso Mkhize and Emmanuel Beng. Thank you very much. We wish Cameroon all the best, and for South Africa, we're hoping to see them back again when the World Cup starts in USA, Canada, and Mexico. Thank you very much for joining.